Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, July 2nd. Can you believe it? We are coming into a 3-day weekend. Monday, the markets are closed, and I will not be here because it doesn't make sense to be here if the markets are closed, right? Yeah, that seemed pretty stupid to say, but hey, it's Friday. It's the end of the week. I'm a little tired. But speaking of Friday, it is also the monthly job employment report will come out. So the June report will be released today. The estimates are kind of all over the map, but about 706,000 jobs added is a pretty accepted estimate here. So we'll watch for that number that will come out at 8:30 Eastern Time. All right, what else is on tap? I am guessing that typically before a 3-day weekend, that afternoon, after we get through the open, very early afternoon, everything will just die out. That's pretty typical. We have not like last year where people were just staying home because there was nowhere to go and nothing to do. There are places to go. There is stuff to do. And I saw just on the news a little bit ago that AAA is expecting more travelers out there than at any other time, like in history. So pre-pandemic levels, we are expected to exceed pre-pandemic levels for travel. And why? Because people are tired of staying home. What are we doing? We're staying home. Yep, we're not adding to that statistic. But anyway, let's move along here, taking a look at the futures, and you can see that the Russell is down a little bit, but the S&P is up a little bit, the Dow is up a little bit, and the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ are all up a little bit, but overall, extremely flat. I'm going to go with extremely flat. So why do we look at the futures versus just the ETF? I had that question yesterday, and I thought that was an awesome question. Well, first of all, when you're looking at the futures, we're trading now September contracts, right? So we're actually looking at what people think is going to happen. Thus, futures, I know, makes sense, right? Well, this won't look exactly like the SPY chart. So the SPY, because the market's not open, you won't see today's candle, but here is where you see the gaps and more of the jumpier action, I guess you would say. The futures kind of flatten it out a little bit and smooth it out. So pre-market, I really just like looking at the futures. I also look at the futures a lot during the day and compare it to the actual ETF. So whether it's the SPY or the NASDAQ, which is NQ, the Dow is YM, and the Russell is RTY. Now I know a lot of people don't use the Russell at all. They don't look at it. They don't rely on it the same. I like to look at the Russell 2000. I feel like the Russell 2000 is a good little indicator overall. Like if you have everything moving together. So if you have all, well, it's not up here now, but if you have all four indexes moving together, that shows a strength, a very wide strength. The Russell 2000 has 2,000 stocks in it. It has 2,000 names in it. So I just feel like it's a really good temperature of the market. So that's why I look at the Russell so often. But anyway, we are moving green just a little bit, but pretty much I'm just gonna right across the board. We're very flat. We'll see what those jobs with the monthly report comes out. If last month I thought it would move more off of the news, but it really didn't. So we'll see. It's hit or miss. Anyway, enough about that. What are we watching today? Well, first things first, the number one thing moving is space. So let's go back here a few sessions, and space, FAA gave them approval. They had their FAA approval for travel, and huge candle, huge volume, gave an awful lot of it back, came back into the gap, and has now held the gap area for 2 days. So we were in the gap, but you can see that we had this 2-day look here, level at 43 that held. Well, this morning they came out, and I posted the news article there that Richard Branson is going to beat Jeff Bezos into for that first flight. And we had talked yesterday because I heard a news article, or heard a news report about last year for Branson's birthday. That was their goal, is to get him up, get him on a flight prior to his birthday, and that his birthday's coming up. And so I said yesterday, I wonder if that's going to now, because COVID, it didn't happen, if that was going to be the next news that we hear is that because I knew they were working really hard on it, is that the next news? And then sure enough, that came out in the off hours here. So anyway, the 5407 is where this is sitting now. So way up above this Fibonacci line, we are sitting here, and above this volume shelf that we have here, where we are above that. So keep an eye on space. If you do play that, I would be very cautious, because this could be another, hey, we're selling the news. I don't know, but play it like off of an ORB or something, but have a really good stop point. But there you go. There is space. A couple others. Joe in the community pointed out Starbucks yesterday, and look at this beautiful move above the 50. So it did obviously pop up on the 50 scan. I have a scan that just, as stocks move over the 50, it'll pop up there, and that's what Starbucks did. Now the volume was just kind of meh, so we'll keep an eye on it here. I do like Starbucks coming up over yesterday's high. That clears out some of that volume resistance. So Starbucks, the 820, 115 are the ones I will keep my eye on. All right, so some tech continuing to do well. We saw Apple. I'm going to go over here to Apple real quick. Apple held that trend line and pushed up, but Facebook is where I like to come back into, look at Facebook here over the 354.67. That's yesterday's high, for a move toward that 358 and then a breakout. It did start building just a smidge more volume. On my volume down here, I did change this to a 20-day volume. It was 50, and I was speaking with Michelle yesterday, and I said I wanted to change it to a 20-day just because we have, I think it's just a little bit more accurate than the 50 now. I'm just going to try it out for a little bit. But anyway, Facebook, I like the 820 360s. All right, Edward Life Sciences, building a little bit of volume here. Look at this beautiful, we moved up, we took a little break, we walked up, we took another little break, we walked up, put in this nice little bowl. I like when they do this little touchback here. Looking at Edward Life Sciences, I like the 820, 110. We've taken a few trips through Run. I like the look of Run here. It took a nice little break. It is still below the 200, so we always have to keep that in mind as we approach that 200. And that's where we sold prior on that last trade. As right as it approached that 200, we sold, and you can see that it tested and failed. We are holding in a nice spot here above the point of control, above the are hanging in here just above all of this volume resistance. So take a look at Run at the 820.60. So a few others that popped up. Amgen on a cross over the 50. Now we had one the other day. It didn't hold it. We tested it yesterday, and we tested it on Wednesday, still below. Yesterday finally made that move. Now the volume wasn't overly excited here. I like the looks of this. If we can get that continuation here this morning, so just keep an eye on Amgen and TMO. Beautiful little triple top looking thing here. I like the look of that on a break to the top side. Plenty of room to 526. I know, very expensive. Don't really like any of their options, to be honest. You have to push out to September. And if you're willing to push out to September, the 530 are the ones that I would take a look at there. But they don't trade a ton of options, so make sure you get some volume today for the liquidity. Otherwise, the bid and ask on the close yesterday isn't too bad, but I know that they can get pretty spready. So that when stocks are too spready, the bid and ask is too far apart, that is an indication that it's just not quite liquid enough. All right, so that is it for me here today. I hope you have a wonderful and safe 4th of July if you're traveling. Please be safe and enjoy your family, your travels, and most importantly, really celebrate the 4th of July and all that it signifies, and know that even when we have disagreements, political disagreements, or just whatever. Sometimes we just get mad at our government or whatever it is. We still live in such an amazing country that we can actually disagree with our government. And that's what the 4th of July is celebrating, the fact that we can be completely independent. All right, have a fantastic weekend. I will see you soon.